Let's talk about the writing process. Chapters 1 through 5 of your text, Patterns for College Writing, goes over the writing process in great detail. Let's compare the writing process to building a house. Now, before you build a house, it's important to talk about building the house, think about building the house, and determine what you know about building a house. Who is going to live there? Where is it going to be built? What is the purpose of this house? How long do we even have to build it? So step 1 of the writing process is just the same. This step is called invention or pre-writing. In this step, it's important to understand your assignment. What is the purpose of this essay? And who is going to read this essay? How long does the essay need to be? Is it a formal or informal writing occasion? And what do we already know about the topic? After you discover that, you can move on to free writing or brainstorming or journaling, clustering, outlining. But it's important to determine your thesis in this step and nail that down before you go any further. Then you're ready for step 2. Step 2 in building a house is deciding what kind of house you're going to build and what it's going to look like. You need to make sure that you have the right amount of rooms in the right order and perfect layout. And so step 2 in the writing process is called arrangement. Here we look at the pattern for organization. Page 50 of your book goes over different patterns for organizing different types of essays, such as narration, process, cause and effect, compare and contrast, and others. Now there are different parts to the essay, just like there are different parts to the house. The first part of the essay is always your introduction. In your introduction, you have to list out the thesis, but your book gives you 8 different strategies for writing a great, effective, creative introduction. Those are on page 51 and 52. Next, you move on to the body. This is the biggest portion of your essay. In a house, this will be considered the living areas. The living room, the kitchen, the dining room, the family room. And so this is where you convince your reader in the essay that your thesis is true and you support that thesis and you spend a lot of time developing the point of your paper. And so then you are ready to move on to the final part of your essay, the conclusion. These are smaller rooms in your house. The conclusion might be the bathrooms or the closets, but they have equal importance and they are essential to the house. And the conclusion is essential to your essay. Page 59 of your textbook gives you 4 ideas for ending your essay. And then before you leave this step, go ahead and sit down and scratch out that outline on paper. Just like a builder takes the time to map out a blueprint and make sure that the plans are in place before they start building, you need to make sure that you write your outline before you start writing your paper. Now you're ready to move on to step 3. In building a house, this would be the step where you actually start construction. And you want to make sure that you refer to the blueprint as you build the house. This is always the step where, as a builder faces challenges and sees problems arise, they problem solve. Maybe they need to move a window or enlarge a closet. This is a great time to do this as you revise your essay after it's already drafted. So in this step, we write our first draft, and then we start going over the organization, and maybe we move a paragraph or a point in front of another point because it makes more sense. Maybe we forgot an idea and we need to add that in. This is where we get all of our thoughts down on paper and we make sure that we like the order before moving on to the last step. Now your house is already constructed. You can walk in this house, you can shut the doors and open the windows, but it's not done. If you don't complete the final step, step 4, then your homeowners are not going to be very happy. In step 4, you start running the vacuum. You wash your windows. Maybe you even touch up some paint. You want to make sure that this house is spotless. And so in step 4, we go back over your essay and we make sure that your essay is spotless. We don't want to leave any errors and we want to make sure that it shines. And so in step 4, we call this the editing, and then we call it the proofreading part because it is a 2-step process. In editing, we're going to look at grammar and punctuation, sentence structure, and style. Pages 79 to 89 gives you a little overview of how to do this, and then we're going to proofread. And this is where we're going to check spelling errors and typos, make sure we've got our spacing right, our margins correct, and page 89 to 91 will tell you how to do that. I hope this video has been helpful as you look at the writing process and prepare to write your own essays.